Welcome to Crunch Time with the Authentic Take. And we are going to get into the roster cuts. We're going to go down the list of who we got and who we could really do without or who hasn't impressed. And, let's get it started, man. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into it right now. Okay. I'm on 49ers.com going down their depth chart as of August 17th. And let's go one by one. So the quarterback position, obviously Brock Purdy's number one. We got Mac Jones. And honestly, they're kind of treating Mac Jones like the starter as how they're using him, which I think is good because, if we didn't have Mac last year, we wouldn't even made the playoffs. So I think they're doing good as far as that. And now the last two quarterbacks is Curtis Rourke, who I believe kind of flashed um, this preseason. Unfortunately, he couldn't play against the Chargers because he injured that rib against the Titans. But he looks like he has what it takes to be, a good quarterback or a quarterback that's ready to learn. It's kind of gutsy out there with that quarterback sneak that everybody's criticizing. And I think he looks good. I wasn't like high on him or had much to really say about him, but he kind of made it look good if the Niners want to keep three quarterbacks. Because right now, I believe that they might only keep the two. But the guy that I would probably keep is Curtis Rourke. Because then on the other hand, we have Adrian Martinez, and he's just been looking like he's pressing out there, which, I get it, but he's just made some bad plays, even some like, he's about to go out of bounds and he's just like flinging the ball up, keeping it in play, almost getting it intercepted and stuff. And I don't know. I don't like both the games, the preseason games. At the end of the games, I was like, well, I know for sure Adrian Martinez is getting cut. Like he just didn't show anything, significant, and I don't really see that like any positives that he's shown in this preseason. So most likely, I'm thinking, Curtis Rourke probably go to practice squad. Um, but I definitely think that they will not be keeping around Adrian Martinez. So that's as far as quarterbacks. So now let's go to running backs. So obviously we got CMC, and as I've gone over, we're being cautious with him, which is cool. I mean, you gotta be. We got Jordan James that just returned to practice today, which that's definitely a bright side. I just think um, the more running backs we have, or the more receivers we have, I just let's keep the maximum, honestly. But anyway, Jordan James back to practice. He was looking decent out there. Kalon Black, he really impressed me in the game against the Chargers, and I really like what he could do. And he wasn't even invited to the NFL Combine. Like I think that's crazy, and I think he's gonna do good stuff for us. So you know, I gotta say that Kalon Black is probably the number two running back for the 49ers right now. So um, and Patrick Taylor Jr., unfortunately, this week he was put on the IR. He got injured, so we won't be seeing him this year. And also in the Chargers game, Sincere McCormick, he was making some good runs. I thought it was they kept Keelan Black out there for an extra series, but it was Sincere McCormick, and I kind of like that little duo. Like if we keep four, I like CMC. I like Keelan Black. I would keep McCormick right now. He looks fresh and just spry and just ready to get after it out there. So that's three of the four that I would, you know, keep. Um, and then we got Khalil Herbert, who we released him and then we re-signed him after the Patrick Taylor Jr. injury. So Khalil Herbert is back out there. He looks decent. I just don't know if he looks decent enough to not get released or to make the 53-man roster. And then we also picked up former Raider Zamir White. He looked good in the plays that he got. I don't know if I got enough, I would say, like tape on him yet. But if I were to go to my four running backs, it would be CMC, Keelan Black, Sincere McCormick, and just going out on a limb. Well, I was gonna say Zamir White, but I'll just go with Jordan James because we still, I guess, owe it to him to, now that he's back healthy, we could like focus on him. So I would say that's what it is right now. Basically, RB1 CMC, RB2 is Keelan Black, RB3 um, is probably Jordan James, and RB4 is Sincere McCormick. But let's go into the wide receivers now. So, um, obviously, we got Mike Evans, which is great. Um, they got two different rows of the receivers. So if I'm out of order, forgive me. So we got Mike Evans, we got Dejon Stribling, which, he's just been showing out and showing consistency, and I love that about him. And let me just go back. So we got Mike Evans, one of the best receivers, probably to don a San Francisco 49ers uniform. So I'm just loving that, he's back at practice today along with Jordan James. And I think over all the injuries of, substation talk, I think we're being right. We're being cautious. So that's what we're doing with Mike Evans. And I can't wait to see him on the field. And, and then we got Debo Samuel, who should fit in perfect, in the backfield, and probably being Brock Purdy's little dink and dunk guy. Um, okay, these next two are like I don't know about these guys. Demarcus Robinson was huge for us in Philly, but now it's kind of like ever since we got Mike Evans, it kind of seems like, oh, where's this guy? Like, what's he doing? Like, I don't know why this guy wouldn't be like more of a focus. I feel like he'd be maybe like a real good number three receiver, but I just don't think it's that way. And I feel like he could be the biggest name for us that could be a cap casualty, or not a cap casualty, but a roster cut that we weren't expecting. So it's kind of hard. Like the receiver core is kind of hard right now. Um, Even Christian Kirk, he's been injured pretty much since day two of training camp. And I mean, is he a possibility that he could get cut, even though he's one of our key receiver signings in the offseason? I think he won't get cut. He'll just get benefit of the doubt, especially since he's proven. But you never know. You got Malik Turner. Um, he actually has not done that bad, but you just wonder who they're going to keep and who they're not. Um, to me, Malik Turner has not done anything to like get himself, released or cut. But and then we went and picked up Kadero Hodge. He played with the Atlanta Falcons last year, and he was making some catches in the Chargers game. So I like that. Instant guy that's making his presence felt. And then the last guy on this list, I guess, is Wesley Grimes, and I've been hearing good things about him. I haven't really seen him in action, but um, I've been hearing that the 49ers are really high on him. So you just got to wonder about that too. And then let's get to the other ones. Jacob Cowing, everybody is saying is like he's our solidified punt returner now because he ran that 84-yard punt return back during the game. And I don't know about that, especially watching that 49ers and Chargers game. I know it's preseason, but he looks small. I was honestly confusing him with Debo, and he just looks really small. And I don't know how effective he could be. And the fact that he pulled his hamstring 4 times last year, it's got to like show you that it's like kind of a injury woe with him. Like you just don't know. And I think Jacob Cowing is one guy that I'd be okay with letting go. I just I can't see him on this team. We've kept him on this team and we've like said like, oh, he's showing things and stuff, but I don't think he's showing enough. Even though that was a great return, especially with all he's been going through. So I don't know. I'm not like sold on Cowing and stuff. Jordan Watkins, he's been like my personal favorite, hoping that he could like solidify a spot on this team. Um, but I don't know if he's going to make the team. I was hearing that he's going to be the punt returner, but um, I've been also hearing that the 49ers have been kind of puzzled for the fact that he can't, like, he's dropping balls when he's open, he's dropping balls when he's contested, and just pretty much every situation they want you to catch the football. He's like not being consistent in that. Um, so maybe that's just something you get over. But the fact that I'm hearing all that negative, I just don't know about him. I've been hearing Will Pauling's name come up a lot. I think that's a guy that the 49ers really want to see progression in, and they will invest in him, in the future. And then Trenton Irwin. I honestly, when I seen the signing, I liked it, and I like what he's doing um, for us already. He's making some grabs. Had like 2 or 3 catches in the Chargers game. I just he's not overpowering. He's not an incredible route runner, but he's doing his thing, and um, this guy might be one of the surprises that makes the team. But let me round this up on maybe in a depth chart way. Okay, so Mike Evans is going to be the number one. Okay. Um, I would say right now Debo would be the number two. Number three would be Dejon Stribling, even though I think Deshaun is Debo will probably switch eventually as uh as Dejon keeps improving. So Mike Evans, Debo Samuel, Dejon Stribling, and I think Christian Kirk will be in there. And I'm thinking that I think we're gonna keep Hodge. I think we're probably gonna cut Demarcus Robertson and Malik Turner. That's just my opinion. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, I think I really think we're gonna cut them, or cut those guys. So let me hold on 1 second. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Now, well, we jumped over fullback, but we all know that's going to be Juice. I think he got like a broken finger, but I'm sure he's going to be ready for week one. And then let's go to the tight end. Um, Today, Kittle's out there practicing in pabs, Uh, Kittle's out there practicing in pads, running routes, looking like regular Kittle. He was activated off the non-active pup list right before the season. So um, I mean, I even though I don't like it and I am not a professional, um, it's looking like Kittle might be gearing up for Week 1. I mean, just being activated doesn't mean he's the starter, but they're running him out there like he's gearing up to do that. So we'll see how that goes. I would really hope that they would just sit him out a couple weeks, make sure he's 100% sturdy. Um, but that's just me. Okay, we got Jake Tonges, who we gave a contract to. We're believing in right now as far as the George Kittle backup, but barring on what George Kittle does, he will be our starter. Um, we got Luke Farrell, who was our big contract signing last year when we were getting rid of everybody, but he didn't really perform that good last year. Um, and I think we need something from him this year. If we had like a 3 tight end set or something, like with Kittle, Tonjes, and Luke Farrell, like if I'm Kyle, I want them all to be dangerous and be you know a potential target for a pass. But Luke doesn't seem like that right now. So I think he has some work to do and just getting comfortable. But and then we go to Braden Willis. Honestly, I can't believe this guy's still on the team. He's made a couple bonehead plays in the last 2 years, and Kyle must like him for the fact that he's still around, or he's just a spot filler. But Braden Willis is there, and then we got Hayden Rucci. I don't know too much about him, um, but we'll see where that goes. And I don't even know how many tight ends you could keep. I think you could probably keep like 3. Um, that's what I'll go with that. And then you got Josiah DeGara. Um, I mean, he was just recently signed, so who knows with that. But as far as right now, um, I think you just know it's gonna be Kittle, gonna be Tonjes, and most likely it's gonna be Luke Farrell. So if there's a fourth, I got to think they're just going to stick with Braden Willis, even though I don't think he should be on the team. Um, but yeah, let's go. Let's go left tackle. Obviously, we got the best ever, Trent Williams. We got Vidarian Lowe, who is coming back from injury, who's supposed to be Trent's replacement in case injury happens to Trent. So he'll be back. To me, it just seemed like nothing serious, but I think the word of the 49ers training camp and off season has been be cautious. So I think that's what they're doing with Lowe and Enrique Cruz Jr. A lot of people are giving him grief over him just getting blown by in the Chargers game, and some people are kind of concerned maybe if he's even gonna be making the team this year. So that sucks. I mean, he just hasn't played up to par in this short stint in the preseason. So as far as left tackle, I gotta think it's just gonna be Trent Williams and Vidarian Lowe. Even though I don't know if you can keep 3 left tackles, but let's go to left guard. Robert Jones. That one I don't know about because all of a sudden he's weirdly injured that he might be out next week. So I don't know if we'll have a status on him until next week to see if he could play. Carver Willis, I feel like they're kind of treating him like a project that hopefully works out. So we'll see with that. And Keon Smith, not too familiar with him, but left guards kind of seem intact right now, and there's just so few of them. Center, we got Jake Brendel. We got Drake Nugget, and we got Brett Toth, and we got Doug Kramer Jr. I think the first three are gonna obviously make it. Brendel's been the constant with the 49ers. And Nugent as a backup. And I think the safety blanket was Brett Toth getting a little bit of experience in there. And sorry, Doug, I don't know if they're keeping a fourth, but if they are keeping a fourth, I don't know if you're gonna make the team. Nothing personal. Um, okay, so right guard. Um, and this is a guy that I liked and always liked and felt like he was going to be a kind of big anchor with Trent Williams is Dominic Pooney. Um, I know he's off and on with like injuries this training camp, but I don't think it's anything like serious. And Connor Colby, he's been like semi consistent in this training camp, so he's definitely a guy that we're gonna rely on at right tackle. Sorry. Okay, hold on. Shit. Okay. Um, and then right tackle would be Colton McKivitz, Austin Pleasance, Brandon Parker, and Isaac Alacorn. Sorry. Okay. So Colton McKivitz, Austin Pleasance, Brandon Parker, and Isaac Alacorn are, I think, that's how you say his name. But anyway, um, I think they're pretty set at this. At right tackle, Austin Pleasance, uh, got injured, so still waiting for the status on him. But otherwise, I kind of see them kind of staying with that, or at least three out of the four guys: Colton, Austin, and Brandon Parker. Um, so yeah, pretty solidified at right tackle. Okay, so let's go to defense. Left defensive end, we got Keon White, Sam Akawanu, Titus Leo, Xavier Thomas. I mean, The first two are veterans, so I think they'll definitely be up to par to like handle the load. But I kind of like the stuff I was seeing out of Tyus Leo. I was waiting for Romello Height to kind of bust out, and it was Titus Leo. So I think that's definitely a guy that we should kind of keep in tune with, and he'll definitely make the team. Um, but and Xavier Thomas, I'm not too in tune with. But left defensive tackle got Osa Odigizua, C.J. West, and Brian Eason, or excuse me, Bryson Eason. Um, I like what we got there. Big trade for Osa. CJ West, I've been hearing rumblings that he's improving. I think he had a minor injury, but I think they're up for the task, and especially adding Osa, this is gonna be a big year for these defensive tackles. And the right defensive tackles, Alfred Collins, Sebastian Valdez, Grayson Halton, James Thompson Jr. Um, coming in, I was kind of like, I like that Alfred Collins, got time last year, like forced time because of all the injuries. But apparently, he's the least progressed this season. Like as far as like he came in overweight, he just looks lost out on the field, and this could be a casualty of the cuts. Because the next guy is Sebastian Valdez. He's been making some plays in the preseason games. I like that. Also, Grayson Halton. I believe he had a sack against the game with the Titans. So I think Alfred Collins might be a victim here. So who knows? And remember, I'm just all speculation right now. Um, right defensive ends, Nick Bosa, Romella Height, Quentin Bell, and Ogba. So Nick Bosa, he's still suffering tendonitis. He hasn't practiced since that been made like a whole deal about his rest. So we're just hoping, fingers crossed that uh, he will be there week one against the Rams, because I feel like that's all you can really do. You hope. And they're not making a big deal about his tendonitis, so I guess why should we? So, Romello Height, um, I still want to see more out of him because I feel like, he got a lot of criticism, and he's someone that probably could play, and he just needs to show it. So, I feel like he could be a key guy for us going in the future. So I really do want him to win. So I definitely think we'll be keeping obviously Nick Bosa, Romello Height, Quentin Bell. I think we'll be keeping all those guys. So at Sam linebacker, we got Luke Gifford, Jaden Duggar, Jalen Graham. At least the first two guys, Luke Gifford and Jaden Duggar, like I like the way they've been looking in the preseason. I know it's just preseason, but especially Jaden Duggar just hopping on, making plays. I really love that for them. And I think we're gonna keep that whole core. And then as far as Mike linebacker, um, obviously Freddie G, Fred Warner. I mean, come on, man. um, he's obviously there. Then we got Tatum Bethune, which I think he's just gonna. I think he's gonna have a good year because he had to really fill in last year, especially when Fred went down. But now you got Greenlaw back, and this guy could be um, like just like a third guy. Like I love that. Um, and for the will linebacker, um, Dre Greenlaw, like I just said, he's back. It's going to be fierce. Going to be a dog. We got Nick Martin. Obviously, with Nick Martin, I'm kind of confused because it's like we were high on him, and then last year we held him out extra long for a concussion. Um, and then now it's kind of like I don't think we like exactly what we see. Like he's a good athlete, but we don't necessarily know if he's a good football player. Garrett Wallow, I think he is solid, and Larry Worth, they're high on him right now in the preseason. So only time could tell what they're going to do with him. Um, but let's head on to the left cornerback, Renardo Green. He's the one I'm kind of like. I don't know what's going to go on with him. Um, Obviously that incident on the sidelines last year, but do they still value Renardo even if he's just a replacement? It's kind of hard to see, but anyway, we got Jack Jones, Jacob Robinson, and Eli Apple. I'm loving Jack Jones and what he's doing so far. I just it's honestly really good. I love that we got to me he's a playmaker. We got a playmaker that shows his swagger out there on the field while making good defensive plays. So I'm loving that. Uh, Jacob Robinson, I think has shown flashes in the preseason, so I think he's safe. Eli Apple, he's kind of like Khalil Herbert. Like we keep signing him, releasing him, they're re-signing him. I just kind of wonder what they're going to do with Eli Apple, or if we just got him because he's just kind of like a buffer. Like if anybody doesn't work out, oh, we got Eli still. So um, I don't know. And then right cornerback, we got Domador Lenore. You can call me a Lenore hater right now, but I feel like he needs to turn into a playmaker this year. Maybe that's not his game, and he's just great in coverage, which is not a knock, obviously. But I wonder, with all the crap talking he does and where he believes he should be on the CB totem pole, he got to do more this year. He got to just not say it, you know? So that's my little gripe with Lenore. But Daryl Luda Jr. is always a good guy, reliable guy that we have out there. And then my boy, Prysock. I think they're already liking what they're seeing. I've been hearing references that even though he's not the same number, he kind of gives off a Merton Hanks vibe, which I love, man. Um, and he was the guy that we got out of the draft where everybody was like, oh, Stribling, but I was like Prysock. And it was more so that it's like last year I wasn't confident in this cornerback core. So I think he put some playmaking in there, some swagger, and he's a big dude. So um, he could cover most wide receivers. So I like that about Prysock, and I'm pretty sure he's safe. And the MBs, Upton Stout, Nate Hobbs, I'm pretty sure they're pretty safe. I'm looking forward to seeing the type of regular season that Upton Stout has because, he got jacked in the offseason, and I feel like he heard a lot of the criticism last year, and, he's just, itching to, prove everybody wrong. So I want to see what he does, this year. And then we only got free safety and secondary. So free safety, Jair Brown, uh, Saron Neal, and Jalen Stroman. Honestly, I never heard of any of these guys except for Jair Brown. So I wonder how much play they're actually getting, like Neal and Stroman. So I can't see the last two being held on the team. I'm sure they'll both be cuts. Um, and for a secondary is Malik Mustafa, Marcus Siegel, Ashton Davis, and Patrick McMorris. I'm not too sure about McMorris, but these three, man, I would keep them on there all intact. I know there's doubts about Marcus Siegel, but just let him continue to grow. Sometimes people just don't aren't instant successes in the NFL. So um, let him kind of simmer a little bit. Mustafa, I think he's really short, but I like that we got Ashton Davis. I think he's a veteran that will help us a lot. Made a couple nice deflections early on in the preseason. So I like that, and I like where we stand. So those are basically my cuts, man. I mean, we'll go into okay. Punter is Corliss Waitman. There's only one punter, so I'm thinking he's not going to get cut. Eddie Pinheiro is the only kicker we have, so I'm sure he's safe and he's reliable. So why not? Kick returner right now, we got Debo Samuel, Jacob Cowing, and it says Patrick Taylor Jr., but obviously he's on the IR. Punt returner Jacob Cowing and Jordan Watkins. I wanna know why Jacob Cowing is ahead of Watkins, and this was before his 84-yard punt return for a touchdown. I want to know why, but that's just me. But those are my cuts, and I think we're still in pretty good standing, after that. So let me see if I can find any um 49ers like narratives. Okay, hold on. Well, let's talk a little bit about Kittle. I mean, you could leave it in the comments about how you feel. Do you feel like Kittle's ready? Are you nervous that he might play in week 1? Because I am, even though necessarily where like the height of his injury wasn't where most the prototypical Achilles tears are. So that's good. That means he would heal faster. So that's good. But I what they kept saying about Ricky Pearsall last season is what I think you got to do for George Kittle too. Save him from himself. Like obviously, if he's brought up all the time, he's pretty much one of the best players of the 49ers. He's like the mascot. Like you don't want to risk him right now. And I know he probably wants to enjoy the experience in Australia and everything. And I totally get that. I mean, go on the trip. I mean, take the trip, go hang out with some kangaroos. But man, the Niners got to be cautious with him. Um, if we start him, have him on a snap count. Like, I don't know. I'm one of those 49er fans that is nervous about him playing immediately. I um I just my ideal thing is the earliest I would want to play him is like week 4. Because say he's ready by week 1, you still got 3 or 4 weeks to really just run routes, make sure you're good, train, rest up. Um and I know George Kittle don't want to do that, but that's I'm just too nervous about it. I'm just too nervous. And the 49ers have made me this way. So I don't blame anybody but the 49ers in these injuries. So George Kittle is a huge part of our team, and we need him in the playoffs. And that's why I would be so reluctant to let him play. But that's me. So it's, oh crap. What else we got? Well, I'm seeing something as an hour ago. Uh, Christian McCaffrey did return to practice. That is great. I'm sure this is what I said last week that I'm sure they're being cautious with him and everybody's nervous on how they handled it last time. Where like week 1, we're like, yeah, CMC's ready. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, he's out like an hour before the game. And we didn't see him that year. or whatever. Um, so that's good news. CMC is returned to practice. CMC and Debo are those guys that teams do not really like planning for that we need on the field, and I'm loving that CMC is back out there. Just looking. Okay, let's go on here. So, um, Raheem Morris, was he the right fit? I just there's some about him where like I feel like he knows what he has with the 49ers right now, and I think he's going to make our defense even better than Salah was making it last year. I think Salah held his own, had to do what he had to do, and um, I think I just think that you got to remember that the years that we lost in like the NFC championship game against the Rams, Raheem Morris was the defensive coordinator. So he provides a lot. A lot of people see him as a head coach still, feel like he was wrongfully um, discharged from the Atlanta Falcons, which I was one of those people. I think that's crazy. Um, but I'll reap the benefits of that because I think he's going to be incredible for our team. I think him and Fred Warner are going to really put their heads together, and I think the secondary, he was a real good secondary coach also, and I think he's going to really focus on all of that. Um, I think he's going to really focus on like the Upton Stouts, like to really like the Mustafas, like to get everything out of them, and I really feel like he is like kind of like a secret weapon for us, and I just can't wait to see the success that he brings out of this defensive core this season, because I think he's a guy that can instill that we got to get takeaways and emphasize that as a big key. And I just think he's going to be great for us. And he is the guy out of all the coordinators that were kind of prolific um, this offseason. I was like, I want Raheem, man. I want him. And then hearing the backstory, how um, like him and Kyle are really close. Like Kyle basically got arrested for Morris. I think that's a crazy story in itself, and I think it's really good and is an extra added level of comfortability that Raheem will have as the defensive coordinator, and with voicing things with Kyle and stuff like that. All right, what else we got? And then I know this is like if you watch my stuff, this is a repetitive topic, probably the last I say like 2 weeks, but the John Striblin, um, I liked what he did against the Titans. Loved what he did against the Chargers. Um, and he's progressing every second he's on the field. I love it. Um, and a lot of people, it's just you hear the Niner fan base and the Niner like media talking all the time, but when the national media is kind of coming out and like saying things like, "Oh, we wish we didn't let Stribling get drafted by the Niners because he's with Kyle and all the stuff he could do with him. This is going to end up being the 49ers wide receiver one." And I'm like, incredible. Love that. Um, and it's kind of nice to hear. And if you're not a Niner fan, you don't understand how good this is of having. It's almost like we're having like kind of a young core in here. Stribling, obviously, like Keelan Black. Like I'm just, it's very energizing that we don't got to just rely on the old guys because yeah, guys are getting old. It's a part of life. But as you get older, things become harder to do, and um, I just think the youth that we brought in, especially through the draft, I think is just gonna help us like tremendously because we got all this money going to like Bosa, Fred Warner, Brock, and we need young, good rookies that are cheap until the old geezers get out of here um, with all the money that they're holding right now. So it's great that some of our rookies are really like are showing up because we need that. We need young, cheap, good rookies right now, and that's what's happening with this core. And I love it. Even Sincere McCormick, it's like, huh? What's this guy doing? But I love it. I love it. I just seen this little rumor that Niners have been involved in a lot of rumors this season, but apparently Joey Porter Jr. is on the block, and I just seen someone make like a YouTube thumbnail with, oh, Joey Porter Jr. massively just got traded to the 49ers. Man, I wish. I want a high profile DB, man, because I don't think Lenore cuts it like that. Um, and who else we got? You know? I think even though he wasn't high profile, ever since we lost Mooney Ward, been looking for it, looking for other topics. I mean, I guess to just kind of like wrap it up. Um, at the start of training camp, I feel like our injuries were, really like scaring the Niner fan base. Everybody that loves the 49ers, the critics, but I think we've managed the situation pretty good. And our guys that are the big guys for us are coming back in the fold right now into the, last couple, you know, minutes, practices of training camp. Like, because Jordan James has been injured with a broken rib or a bruised rib, which Fred Warner actually did trying to punch the ball out of him carrying it. So Jordan James is back. Um, CMC is back. I love that for the core. Mike Evans is back. Love that. I just love him being out on the field, just schooling the receivers and stuff. So I think like all the big like injuries, like even Bosa, you know, I feel like he is. I think he's being cautious to himself. So I feel like that's a good move for Bosa, and I think everything is kind of trickling at the right time. And I just feel like for the majority, we will be, perfectly. Well, perfectly is a different word, but we'll be majorly like healthy to start the season, which hasn't always been the case for the 49ers. And I love that that is the case for us right now. Um, Injuries definitely scared. And even through this whole process, the whole substation narrative kind of got, knocked to the floor because it's been proven that that has nothing to do with anything. So I will vow right now not to talk about that crap anymore because it was a good narrative to kind of like fall into. But now I believe that everything's kind of unfolding the way we wanted it to, even though we had a whole bunch of um, discrepancies and stuff. So I like the way that's going. There's been positives, there has been negatives, but I think um, the San Francisco 49ers are really ready to roll for this season. And while this isn't um, the last narrative to go, um, or last stream before the season starts, I like where we're at. Thursday we play the Las Vegas Raiders. I will be streaming that game probably the first half, at least. And I just I really like where we're at, and um, all the bitching and complaining that I've done, I think I could throw that to the side now, and we could be ready for this 49er regular season, upcoming. And I think we're going to be in pretty good position to make a deep playoff run, even if not a Super Bowl run. People laugh at me when I say that, but it's just crazy. Did you think we were going to go 12-5 last season with all those injuries? Did you think we were going to beat Philly? I know you didn't think we were going to beat Philly. I was nervous about Philly, but we did it. So I think we're going to be good. But, like always, just a reminder, I will be streaming on Thursday for the last preseason game of 2026 for the 49ers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And yeah, make sure you smash that like button. Leave comments on what you think, who you think I got wrong on the cuts, or who you agree with, or who do you think should be cut that you just not feeling in this training camp. Um, and make sure, like always, you subscribe to the channel. Got a couple subscriptions during the live. Appreciate that. Much love. Thank you. And this has been Crunch Time with the Authentic Take. I'm out of here.